Welcome back, everyone, to turn 35 of the Dominions 4 7-person free-for-all series. We're playing as Shinuyama, you already know that. And today, I am thankfully joined by I Seen You Before once again. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and how are you doing, Tortiga?
Well, my response to that has always just depended on how we're doing in the game. And there is some bad news. Apparently, Vanheim is making a move for the thrones. So I guess we'll talk about everything in order on the message list, and then we'll talk more about that when it comes up. So research and alteration is complete. We're now at level 5, I think, and we're getting to level 6 on next turn. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the
Yeah,
research is
definitely.
progressing, why we're choosing to switch into construction?
So we're getting the level 6 to gain access to Soul Vortex. That would help our spellcasters to be very efficient, preventing them from falling unconscious. So that would turn all the sorcerers into big battle magic casters. Then we're switching everything else into construction in order to get level 6 magical items to boost our research a tiny bit further and to gain us access to boosters in order to summon more powerful armies as well as more powerful spells.
Hmm. Oh, there it is. Things have looked good on the research front all along, but hopefully we can just prevent Vanheim from ascending, and then we have a chance to use it. Um, we also did our usual fare with Ghost Generals, create Ashura, Vine Ogres. We have the other tools that go along with that, like the Vine Shield and the either the Frost or the Flame brand. I don't know which one we used this turn, but um, we actually found 3 magic sites. So 2 are in Fever Fens. We have Corpse Candles, which is 1 death, 1 water, and then 1 water. Lots of water gems, not really useful, but... And then we also found one in, I think, Shade Forest, the Enchanted Tomb. Is that right? Was that the other one? No, Forest of Gila, the one below it. We found tar pits. Okay, good. Not much to say about those. Okay, Battle of Might Marsh. So this is the thing I wanted to talk a little bit more about. Vanheim has made their bid for the thrones. They're moving in. They are on the full offensive part. Ulm has sent out a message to Man and myself, warning that Vanheim is going to take those thrones. And we see on this in this turn that Vanheim has actually attacked into and defeated the province defense of Might Marsh. Now, although this battle is kind of not, it's a very one-sided affair. It's just against the province defense. It still can cue us in a little bit to what Vanheim is doing with their army. So, do you want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing here?
Yeah, sure. So Valheim is basically using a pretty classical formation. He put all the shield bearers in the middle to catch arrows technically and to act like a wall. Like you can see the heavy infantry with the shields.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the guys that have 2 weapons are pretty dangerous. They're actually berserkers that have 2 attacks per square, not the Huskar.
Yeah, this
The
one.
guy, yeah, that's one of the main damage dealing of Vanheim right now. Once this gets close, we basically will chop everything down to the ground. So hopefully what we'll do is that we'll just shoot them off before they come, because they come at a disadvantage of not having a shield. Having a very slow map movement, which is a map movement of 1, which
Hmm.
means the whole army needs to follow them. So they won't be able to make use of fast movement. That's always a plus. Mobility will be a disadvantage for them. But otherwise, you don't want to fight those guys without magic and toe to toe, as they can literally chop giants down without much effort.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. What about the Huskarls and the... Well, crossbowmen speak for themselves, but are the Huskarls anything to worry about?
No. No, they're just humans with a shield and a javelin. They're nothing too extraordinary. Very average stats. They're probably being used to catch arrows right now.
So we see Vanheim is using the Blood Slaves as to help their magic, right? I think...
Um,
Aren't the blood slaves supposed to
The
be
thing
used
is,
in their magical spell?
it's
Maybe
supposed to
not on
be,
this map. I
but
mean,
he
because
hasn't used them yet, so we probably will see once we get into an actual battle. I'm
right,
guessing what he's doing is probably spamming lightning strikes and then using a blood slave to recover all the fatigue and continuing the spam.
right, right. Now, when these blood slaves are used, they disappear,
Yeah,
right?
they die. They're sacrificed.
Okay. I don't know if any were sacrificed. I think I saw one get sacrificed, actually. Maybe a couple?
You'll hear a noise when one gets sacrificed.
Okay, I think they're just moving around then.
Yeah, because he probably has conservative magic gem usage.
Uh-huh. Oh, Thunderstrike.
He's not gonna use them.
Now, he's casting Thunderstrike. That's a pretty devastating spell, right? That's one that we need to be pretty afraid of.
Definitely, we need to be careful of it, but we technically have a counter using our skeletons, so I'm hoping that our plan will work, and they will get tired spamming thunder strikes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, we have a plan, right? At least there's that much. Oh yeah, another huge event happened because, you know, luck hadn't gone poor enough for us against Asphodel. Asphodel's imprisoned pretender has awakened, or been released, or whatever, and has now decided to appear on Asphodel, where we are. So they once again took back Asphodel. And there she is. Tuzag, the champion of the wilds, the carrion dragon. I don't know. This is obviously going to defeat our level 1 province defense, but it has an incredible level of fear. Do we have to fear this thing? How much, I should say, should we fear this?
We don't have to. It has no equipment, it cannot fly, so it's pretty much gonna die.
Yeah, I guess that's very helpful. And the fact that it's undead means it's susceptible to our dust to dust, right?
Exactly.
Okay. But it's unfortunate it's going to start sieging our Asphodel's capital, which is now my secondary capital. Also, again, because of what was the mist-covered highlands? Is that the reason why we keep getting negative events here?
Yeah, because of a magic side, it keeps spawning phantasmal warriors, beasts, so we're gonna keep getting unexpected events every once in a while. The good ones usually give us air gems, and the bad ones cause an attack like that.
I see. Because, I mean, we literally just recovered. We just got this back from an attack, and now it fell again to, this time, phantasmal warriors and beasts. And, you know, we'll go ahead and show this battle as well, because I think it's pretty cool what these creatures look like. And, you know, there's not... Oops, this is Seneca. Well, this is another one. This is our Shura against Seneca, which is on the southwest of Asphodel's capital. I'll let you narrate this one. No, it's really not much to say, though.
Yeah, not much to say. This is a basic example of how when you gear out a thug, we can take out some province defense and independence without much trouble.
He actually got a little bit unlucky, right? He was down to 7
Yeah.
hit points.
Yeah.
He almost
Probably
died.
received an arrow to the knee or something.
Yeah. Well, his adventuring days are not over, so that's good. Alright, so that's over. But which is the one? Oh yeah, the battle's down here. Sorry, this is the one with all the foul creatures, and we will also be able to show that we have some kind of. I just think that these look pretty cool.
Yeah, they do.
And then what else do they have? Some. Let me. Yes, Phantasmal Wolf. And these are the ones we're already used to seeing, Phantasmal Warriors that our Shura took down. Okay, there it is. So we lost Stonegrave Mountains again for like the 10th time in this game. Okay, other events. Valdor, -3 Dominion. Doesn't matter because I don't even think we have Dominion there. I think it was Asphodel still. We'll go to that. So it doesn't really matter to us. Osmark. Unrest, magic, plus mounts, whatever. Gnome Peaks, +3 in rest. Yeah, nothing going particularly well for us. And I guess that's it. So what else are we doing this turn? Yeah, because this Carrion Dragon has returned, we're starting to push our forces back to Asphodel. We can't jump there immediately, but we're making a return trip just because We want to take Asphodel back. Now, I'm currently in negotiations with Man, with Das Tactic, about how to settle the Asphodel lands. We've already talked about this several times. I still haven't sent out my peace treaty, or my proposition for how we should do it. My proposal, I should say. We're also finally going to claim the throne at Saboria, the Iron Throne. We did not pay the iron price for it. Do I have that reference right? That's like Game of Thrones, I think.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I don't really either, but the people say these things enough. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we'll retake Stone Grave Mountains. We'll start moving some of our sorcerers west. We're eventually going to want one solid army. Now, I've also been talking to Airmore a fair bit. I'm trying to get them to attack a Feazabor. Did we do the math last episode? Did we do the math on camera about which...
I think we did. We said that we're missing 2 points.
Yeah, so basically I've redone the math and I realized that we were wrong. Because Feazabor and Scythia both have only tier 1 thrones. Which means 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4, plus the one we have right now is 5, plus the 2 at Fever Fens is 7, and then I'm missing one. Oh yeah, Emerald Lake is another 2, so that puts us at 9, which means that basically if we conquer all the thrones in this area, we're still 1 point short. That means we're going to have to take Ulms or, somebody. I mean, if we get this many thrones, we're obviously going to be the most threatening nation in the game. And probably everyone will gang up against us, but we're just not in a good position. We have access to like 1, 2, 3. Is it just those 3? Yeah, we have access to 3 tier 1 thrones, and the math is slightly off, so it's unfortunate. It'll be really obvious when we're trying to take an Ascension victory, because we have to control like 8 thrones for it.
Oh yeah. So everyone's gonna be like, how come Shinuyama became so big? Just helping out.
Well, the good news about this Vanheim thing, which I really am sad that I don't have a person who can get to Griffin Spires in time, but we'll just follow into Iron Range. We'll try to figure out what this army's doing. But the good news about the Vanheim attack is that at least it'll turn eyes away from us. Because Man right now has just talked about how if we're... he has some monks which are visible. I wonder what that means. Because they
building temples.
Yeah, okay, maybe. Oh yeah, what the heck? He's building temples all over the place.
Yeah, he has cheap temples.
So he doesn't mind losing them?
No, he only pays 200 gold per temple.
Still, I mean, it's 200 gold. Is he that obsessed with throwing back my Dominion?
Well, he hasn't done anything very productive, so I guess growing Dominion is one thing he can spend his time on.
I guess so. Okay, well, fair enough. It's going to get rid of Asphodel's Dominion, which is good, but eventually... I don't even know, what is Man's Dominion? That seems good. 3 growth, 2 productivity, 3 order. This can't be right.
Yeah, but he was unlucky because he spawned in like wastelands compared to us and everyone else.
Oh, so he really does have exceptionally good...
Yeah, like technically this should have been Ermos, but Ermo ended up where all the farmlands are, where no player should be.
Which is really sad because we have like no income. Sorry, I keep moving. I hate this wraparound map sometimes. It's hard to tell where I am. We have like no income. 50 here, 17 here, 16 here, 14 here, 12 here. We just have no income. 4 from Asphodel itself. No income from Asphodel.
This is what Dominion Kill Dominion does.
I actually really wish they hadn't played Airmore and Asphodel. I really wish they had chosen like... If everyone had chosen positive nations, like not evil ones, not pop kill ones, I don't care about evil, but just not pop kill, then I don't know, I think it would have made the game more interesting.
then we wouldn't easily be able to go to war with them. Like, ho, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna go kill
exactly.
this human nation.
It'd be a lot more. I think there'd be a lot more parity. No one person, like no one nation, would stand out as an easy target. Whereas, that's what happened in this game. So, Well, anything else we should talk about on this turn? Do we do recruitment? I guess I'll just briefly show. We're getting kappas here, and because I'm moving my kappas. This is the only way we can help out against Vanheim is by trying to take Emerald Lake. So that's what we'll do. Do you think Wadestar doesn't know the strength of kappas? Because it says 30 here. I think he has 50. So he has a really sizable number of Shark Knights. But
I don't think he knows the strength of kappas being backed up by spellcasters. That's for sure.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Now the only problem is we can't take this throne until we get Yukonaga, who is going to claim this throne. He needs to build a temple.
I have a plan. Don't you worry.
Okay. I'll let
We're
you.
gonna take this throne the turn after we capture it. 2 turns after. We're gonna take this throne 2 turns after we capture it.
Oh wow! How? Okay. Well, I don't want to. I'll probably ask you off camera, but on camera I won't spoil the surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll wrap this up. We have we're at 16 minutes, so I'm gonna cut this one off, and we can squeeze episode 36 into the same video, which would be great. So just stay tuned for episode 36, where we will see how the Vanheim's bid for Ascension is working out. So I'll see you in a sec. Alright, and here we are in turn 36. I am again joined by I Seen You Before. Welcome back.
Hello, nice to be back.
Yeah, and we have some exciting news in this. I guess this turn, the next few turns are really going to be the entire game unfolding before our eyes, possibly ending if we're not careful. But let's just start off by going through all of our messages, which is our usual way of doing things, and then we'll get into this discussion about Vanheim's Ascension attempt. So we finished Alteration, so we got finally that Soul Vortex, and now we're moving into Construction. Do you want to explain why?
So basically, once we get up to Construction 6, we're gonna be able to get our boosters, which will help us summon a lot of magical units from Conjuration. Doing that will help us transition our army towards a mid-game army, where we'll be using less upkeep through gold, what is their wages, and instead having upkeep free units that cost magical gems. So the trade-off, of course, is about using the magical gems to summon the units, but in exchange you will get less upkeep as well as stronger units just using gems. And if you accumulated a lot of them, you can levy an army really fast compared to recruiting them for a couple of turns.
Yeah, it's going to be really useful. And we haven't used our gems, I guess we've been using Death and Nature gems, but we have a lot of other gems that are starting to accrue. Especially if I look, we have lots of fire coming in. We're not using too much fire. Earth and water is not bad. The only ones we really need right now are Death and Nature. And we have +10 for Nature, but Death is getting in a little bit slowly. So
yeah, but in exchange we're getting Ghost Generals that will pretty much wreak havoc on any province defense if we find a new enemy.
Yeah. And they're already doing a good job taking over Asphodel's lands and like repulsing like those phantasmal beasts. We had another phantasmal encounter, a fantastic encounter, whatever.
Phantasmal, yeah.
Okay, so we claimed the throne. This is good. So now our official throne status is up to 2. we've tripled, or I should say we've tripled our number of points in a turn from 1 to 3, just by claiming the Iron Throne. Yeah. So that's good. We're up to 3 points. Technically, we still own this, which is 2 points. And we're going to make a beeline for this throne on Scythia soon, TM. We have this issue with Vanheim's Ascension to take care of first, but so things are looking good on that front. Now we have this, we did cite the Vanheim force. Okay, this is kind of a spoiler alert. Griffin Spires is already taken. But we did cite a big force in Iron Range, Now this is just against province defense. It's not a big deal. But I just wanted you to comment on this if you see anything different. We kind of looked at this last turn, but I don't think we saw the demons. So
Yeah, the only thing like I would still say is that this army is heavily vulnerable to ranged fire, and I'm guessing the devils are kind of scripted on hold and attack rear, which would potentially attack commanders, but it's already incompatible. If you're using devils, I wouldn't recommend using crossbowmen because you're essentially shooting your own units in the back.
yeah, I think that's what we see here even.
Yeah, because just think of it. Flying units are already vulnerable to arrows by nature, and given the fact that they always fly to the front, having a bunch of archers shooting closest usually results in a lot of casualties.
And so what would you say about this army then? This is obviously not Vanheim's main army. I think that what happened is this was the army which should have taken Chalad. And as we see, Chalad now has a fort. So this was the really important key thing, is that Ulm realized that getting his fort up has changed Vanheim's plan. But he already committed to trying to take Griffin Spires basically to this ascension attempt. But this fort in Chalad may, in the end, have saved the game. It may have actually prevented Vanheim's ascension. Because they can claim the throne this turn, and they can claim, if they could have claimed Chalad this turn as well, we would have a tough time taking Emerald Lake. Our Kappas are still one turn away, and we're also recruiting more Kappas so that we have a really sizable underwater force. So I think Chalad having the fort here is... we don't know. I am stupid with my spies. I didn't have a spy in Griffin Spires, so we didn't get one there. We already knew that I wasn't going to get one there in time to see the ascension attempt. But this is not a bad army, considering it's a backup army, though, right? It's pretty expensive.
I think it is technically the main army, given the fact that we killed all the sacreds. Not we, but someone did kill all the sacreds, and...
Oh, right. Are you referring to when Airmore killed them?
Yeah. Basically, that was his main army back then, and the new backup army that he has, there's no way he has enough money to accumulate that many sacred units, so he's been using those Iron Heroes, the double-handed guys, as a substitute for now.
Well, but, he did still take Griffin Spires with some force. I suspect that one had... that's probably where his main investment was. So I still think that this is the secondary army and this is the main one, because Chalad is just much less important in terms of victory points, throne points, because it's just a 1-point throne.
Yeah, but the only problem with this army, like I said, is like it does not synergize with itself.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense. That it is both weak to ranged and also using ranged against its own units. Yeah,
it's gonna kill its own units. Let's say the devil routes, when your Iron Heroes go to the front range, they're gonna get shot at the back.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this next battle. This is just our Shuras in action, but I'll still let you commentate it so that we get... I think the viewers enjoy watching the battles, so...
Yeah, so this is a common event, the Phantasmal event. Basically spawns a lot of those weird-looking guys. It shouldn't even be an issue for the Shura. This is caused by the magic site that we have in the province. So every once in a while, if we get a bad event, that magic site will spawn unit attacks just like those.
So Mist-Covered Highlands, is this what you're referring to?
Yeah.
So this is somehow bad. I mean, this is why Stonegrave Mountains, it seems like, has been under siege for, a good part of the game. We're constantly trying to retake it. There's constantly these events firing, and you're saying it's just due to having it this site. Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes you get good events, like the random air mage, right?
Right. We did get our only Zari, our only air mage. So that's true. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have some unexpected events. Fertility Cult in Balador. Gnome Peaks was attacked by werewolves. Forest of Gila gave us 2 Earth Gems. So there's a battle on the Gnome Peaks. I guess this is where the werewolves attacked. I think we only have province defense to handle this, but how strong are werewolves?
Usually we're not bad. They can handle a province defense of up to 15 points and upwards, but because of our Shura there, that will definitely get us the win.
Oh wow! So basically, this province defensive 1, which is what we had, was nothing. But
yeah, it would have died.
This Shura took on all those werewolves by himself.
Yep.
I'm still learning to appreciate these Shuras more and more.
They're just handy.
Wow. Okay, so that's really good. Very good. So very fortunate that we had our Shura there. It wasn't like by design. That was just a random event. All right, so let's start going through some of the other stuff that's happening. We will try to keep this a little bit shorter, but we're going to take back Asphodel from the Tuzeg, the Carrion Dragon god of, or pretender god of Asphodel. So we're moving in with our forces. We have a lot of Ubas who are breaking the siege, and Tortugusan himself coming in with flaming. What's your predictions on this one?
We're not even gonna try.
So pretty easy then.
Yeah.
Okay. Bringing Masasuke back to be closer to our main army. We have now claimed the throne, so the next thing is build a fortress. Continue to build a fortress. We have 3 months left. We're going to have Yukinaga site search-wise there, because we're just waiting for Tortugusan, and then I guess we're going to move against Vanheim, probably. What else do we have?
I think what we're going to take Asphodel's lost throne.
Right. This is definitely, I would consider this our territory. I hope Marcus doesn't try to take it, just because if he does, we have this peace treaty with him, and if we break that, then we have to worry about the constant threat of Agartha going to war with us. So hopefully we can just get that before he does. And if Airmore deigns to attack it, I don't think he will, because I'm in contact with Airmore right now. This is related to the Vanheim situation. I've encouraged him, I've told him that Vanheim is going to ascend, and if he doesn't do anything, if the world doesn't do anything, the other nations, Vanheim will just win. So I'm trying to get him to go take the throne at a Feasibour. So Man, Ulm, and I have, again, as always, been in our little diplomatic dialogue, and that's actually even what Man suggested, is that I get on the good side with Airmore and ask them to move against a Feasibour, which I have done, and Sabaut, so the Lich King, Airmore, has actually agreed to this. We were worried definitely about this attack, possibly an invasion from Airmore, so it looks like that was like just paranoia. Didn't actually come to fruition, thankfully. So hopefully they don't go after this throne in Scythia, because we want that, and hopefully they go after the throne at Feasibour, which is just one more thing to keep Vanheim occupied. So, and we're 1 turn away from... So the situation right now is that Vanheim has defeated Griffin Spires faster than we thought. That's with, I guess, their main contingent is there. I think either their prophet or Fafnir is there, and I don't know, because foolishly, again, I don't have a person there. So the timeline, I have the message from Man up. This is the timeline as he sees it. Turn 37, which is next turn, Man says that's when Vanheim will claim the throne, so Vanheim will be at 9 points. Turn 38, Vanheim leaves to attack one of the other thrones. Then Avalon needs 2 more turns from now to get there. So in 2 turns, Man has an army that can retake Griffin Spires. But at turn 39, Vanheim claims the 2nd throne. They're back up to 7 points. Then on turn 40, Vanheim returns to the Throne of Splendor. So turn 41, they claim the throne and win the game. That's what his predictions are. So that's why Man was suggesting that we try to take a Feasibour. And I already mentioned to him that we will be doing our best to take Emerald Lake. So what do you think, I've seen you before, is the other throne besides Griffin Spires that that Vanheim is going to attempt to attack? I think the 2 that were suggested are Chalad and Man. This one seems very close to Vanheim. This is Man's throne. So which one do you think that they're going to go for? Is it possible, for example, that they will use their sail capability to try to take Fever Fens?
I think it's possible in the sense that if he has an army standing at those coastal provinces, then yes. But given the fact that we kind of killed Asphodel, he probably he won't attack anyone who's equivalent or stronger to his strength. So I believe the most logical thing for him to do next would be to target a weaker player.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's man in that point.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say that Ulm is probably in pretty dire straits considering he's being attacked by Agartha, but you're right that man hasn't really shown a lot of strength, and his throne is also very close to Vanheim, so Vanheim could easily amount, or, you know, mass a very large force quickly to attempt to attack that throne.
Exactly.
However, Ulm also sent a message this turn. There's been a lot of dialogue warning man against this. Actually, it might have even been turn 35 last turn that he did that. So, don't you think that man, having only one throne, will defend this pretty heavily?
You know what? I think all of this will depend on mobility. Man is known to mobilize very slowly. So I think if Vanheim is fast enough, there's a high chance he might just take it before man can move an army there. I guess for his own defense is that his land is surrounded by wastelands, so it's kind of hard for him to move around.
Yeah, that's true.
I still think that logistically, man is not doing a good job.
Okay. Well, I think that since this is my own projection, I have no idea if this is right, of course, but I think that perhaps Black Alps will be very heavily defended by man because Das, he turtles. He's a turtley, defendy kind of strategic player. So I'm imagining that he has a pretty strong defense there. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Vanheim still has a strong enough force, but otherwise I'm just kind of a little cautiously worried. That's why I'm leaving I really don't want to take anybody off. And we still have 3 more months before the fortress goes up here, and then I can breathe a sigh of relief. But that's obviously going to be after whatever potential throne grab Vanheim goes for. So we'll see. I guess that's the only thing we can do is wait and see, but those are my thoughts on the issue. Let's see what else.
I can understand that.
Yeah, so Aramore's being... Oh, we're casting Blight on Vanheim. This is funny. Thanks to I Seen You Before's knowledge of all the different spells. We are casting Blight with Kintoki. And Shunichi. And Blight, well, let's just cast Blight again real fast so that we can show what this does. Why don't you explain what's gonna happen to Vanheim? And also, what are their chances of knowing it's us? Does it, let us know, for example, do they get a message saying, Shinuyama cast this? You know, let us know that.
No, what happens is that we get a bad event saying that the land is affected by blight, and 5% of the population just died, and 80 pounds of gold have been used up. So anyone who usually plays multiplayer will be able to guess that's a cost of blight, but even when you do, it won't tell you who costed it.
Okay, perfect.
And you have to guess of who has an Earth 2 and who has a Death 1.
Which aren't that uncommon, right?
It is. That combination is fairly uncommon. Only you and Agartha has it consistently.
Okay, so they know.
Yeah.
If he knows that Blight is not just a random event, he'll know it's us.
Yeah, and on top of it, you spamming that will reduce not only his gold, but also reduce his income on his capital, which is quite a hard blow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we want, because now that we know... Well, Vanheim's always been like a potential target, because they're just so big, and because we knew that at some point they probably would grab the thrones. But now that they're actually in the process of grabbing thrones, I feel like it's the right time for everyone to band against them. And this takes me to my final point, which I didn't already get up my thing for, but I will. We have finally settled with man the final terms of Asphodel. This has been a long discussion or whatever, and we finally basically just told him that the where things are is the where... That's... what we say are fair terms. And he said that because he originally was offering to give money for Asphodel, that we should give him money and gems. So I've kind of shoved that whole request aside. I'm just ignoring it essentially. But in return, I gave him. I'm just saying that he and I should go to war with Vanheim, and that I'll give him very favorable terms. So that's the big thing I'm now offering, is that we will give him a big chunk of Vanheim's territory. I don't really care about what he gets out of Vanheim, because just allowing him to just keeping him on our side and having him go to war with Vanheim is really what we need. Because right now, if man turns on us with Vanheim, we're just totally, not in a good situation. But hopefully, leveraging this Ascension event, we can get man to attack Vanheim. And we've yet to see. We don't know. Man has not said that they'll go after anything from Vanheim, other than just trying to defend the thrones. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. I was saying before, it's just a kind of a summary of events. This is interesting. Two things. Well, first of all, do you have any comments about that? Because I also have to talk a little about Ogartha.
Well, if I was the one playing and I took the capital and he told me to give the capital, I pretty much should have be like, no, I don't know what you're smoking, but that's not happening.
How about this? What if you were in man's position and you asked for the capital and you said you would pay money for it?
I wouldn't have asked for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I actually have gotten comments already on turn 34 or turn 30. I think it was turn 34. Sorry, turn 35 last turn. No, it was turn 34. Where people were saying man doesn't even have any, should not even have requested it. They didn't have the right to even ask for it.
Yeah, in fact, I think that all of the free territories belong to us, technically.
Yeah. I mean, you could
High
say.
Woods, Feral Woods, and Deep Forest, but I still think that should be ours.
And we're willing, but this is what we're doing. We're basically, this is like a donation to man to keep them on our side.
I know, but if we had High Woods, you'd be three provinces away from Elm's throne.
Yeah, it would be a good backup. Well, this is another interesting thing. I'd like your opinion on this, or you don't have to give it if you don't want, because to me, it strikes me a little funny. I've also been in contact with Ogartha. I've let them know that Vanheim is going to ascend, or attempt to, of course. And I asked for their help, and they have said that they are currently in a peace treaty with Vanheim, that they just settled their, this peace, this very quick war. It didn't last very long. What was it, 3-4 turns? And they are not going to help defend the world against the Ascension attempt. I'm putting it a little bit maybe in biased, subjective terms, because he's saying that, okay, basically Vanheim's my friend, and I'm not going to go against them. But in my opinion, from a game perspective, maybe I'm metagaming too much. Maybe I'm just playing things too out of character, and Marcus, who's very good at role-playing, maybe he's playing very in character. But him not trying to stop one of the other nations from winning the game, I kind of disliked this. First of all, no negative thing against Marcus himself. This is, I think that he's justified his reasoning, but it's definitely not my style, and I don't know. I was a bit surprised by it. What's your thoughts on it?
I just think he's being Machiavellian.
And what can you go into a little bit more? What that means?
If he goes into a fight with Vanheim, he's just gonna use of his own defenses. He's gonna leave the other people, aka us, to deal with Vanheim. And I guess just thinking about there's 3 people dealing with Vanheim versus 4, there's not that much of a big difference. He can pretty much just chill in the corner, build up his forces, and probably jump on whichever opportunity presents to him.
Well, I think that's incredibly insightful. That might actually be what happens. Marcus is an extremely honest person, very straightforward in his diplomatic, discourses with me and with everyone, really. So I haven't gotten that sense that that's what he's trying to do. But that's obviously a really good point. One of the things he said is, it's really not easy. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to come and ask for his help when he asked for my help against Vanheim, which is true, and I didn't give it. Now, I was tangled up in a war with Asphodel at the time, and now he's not tangled up with anything, and Ascensions weren't at risk, but the basic point still stands that when he was having problems and he asked me for help, I didn't give it, so yeah, just to put that in there so that people get the full story. Okay, let's see, on this video, oh, go ahead.
It happens. It's kind of like Crusader Kings too. Your ally wants you to go to war in the middle of Middle East. Well, I'm in Europe. I'm just gonna decline the call to war.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is still, like, this is for the end of the game. That's, I think, the one notable difference. That's the way I see it, at least.
Yeah, because the guy's trying to get the win condition.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, from that perspective, like, I will go against anybody who tries to get the win conditions. Even if it's Ulm, who I consider a pretty strong ally right now. Okay, that's it. I think that's all the things we need to talk about in this video, or maybe there's more stuff that we need to talk about, but basically we're building up for the big conclusion, the big finale, which will be not next turn, but the turn after that. And we're going to do our part by securing Emerald Lake. Even this one throne could stop the Ascension, so the world's fate may rest on our shoulders. Is there anything else we're missing? I've seen you before. I can't remember if there's something else I'm forgetting to talk about. Maybe, the fact that we're forging the rings of water breathing in order to get us there.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it last turn.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but that's our plan, basically. Give rings of water breathing to some of our majors to have a support underwater and kick Vanheim's throne out of his hands.
I certainly hope so. I mean, and this may lead to some kind of bigger engagement if Vanheim doesn't like the fact that we're trying to save the world. I don't think, to me it makes sense. You know, everyone should try to save the world, and we'll see how Vanheim reacts to that. Hopefully he doesn't react by just winning if we fail.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, well, I'll give you the last word. Anything else you want to say about this turn or how things are going?
No, I think that should wrap it up. We're looking pretty good. We finally get to mobilize that big army that we made, so that's good. Our upkeep is not going, you know, to complete waste.
Sorry, I'm just. It looks like it's the perfect time for me to end this episode. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for everyone for watching. Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of this little Ascension attempt in the next couple of turns. Until then, again, thanks for watching. Thanks to I Seen You Before for joining us, and take care.